Spirituality means spiritual. I am a spirit. Spiritual means pertaining to the spirit. What is the spirit? The soul and the supreme soul. We are spiritual in nature. And our transaction, the transaction between the soul and the super soul, is that of Yajña. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Super soul side, from the Paramatma side, the communication is always going on towards us. But it has been more or less one way, especially for us in the material world. There has been no communication from our side towards the Supreme Lord. He has been providing for everything. Eko bahunamyo vidadhati kaman. And He remembers what we have done. He awards us the necessary bodies. So from His side, there is constant care towards us. He cares for us. I mean, He's providing everything. Even though we may be the worst atheists, He's still providing us. Even when one goes to the downtrodden, life forms as fish and animals and this insects and all these things, still He is supplying. So from His side, there has been a constant communication towards us. We have become so numb to that we don't even realize that there is actually there is a person called the Supreme Lord who is taking care of us, and we need to actually become obedient to Him. Stop doing this nonsense, neglecting Him when He is doing everything for us, and we actually belong to Him. So when we start our side of communication towards the Supreme Lord, that is called Yajña, because it involves sacrifice. Yajña means sacrifice. What are we sacrificing? Usually people understand sacrifice as animal sacrifice, something, balidan. No. Sacrifice is a much broader term. Sacrifice actually means, at the heart of it, sacrifice means to sacrifice the tendency of sense gratification. That's all. That is the real meaning of sacrifice. I want to enjoy my senses. And this sacrifice is not just, or sometimes they understand that the fire sacrifice, when they sit down and then do havan. Or that is a sacrifice, fire sacrifice. See, sacrifice is at every moment we have to do sacrifice. That means sacrificing our tendency to, say for example here, if I want to hear some, pop songs, or I want to hear some topics about politics or something about, some material topics, some sports, whatever, or some gossip about some other person. So this is a tendency to hear all these kinds of things which bring us temporary satisfaction, not satisfaction actually, sense gratification, but they don't actually satisfy us. They gratify our senses for a while, but they don't give us satisfaction. So sacrifice means to sacrifice the tendency of stupidity and giving up all that sense gratificatory pursuit and engage that time. Rather, if I want to hear, suppose, pop song, why can't I hear some Vaishnav bhajan written by an authorized acharya? So, okay, let me not hear this pop song. Let me hear Jai Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari. So, or Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or Kirtan. So, in this way, or I can, if I want to hear instead about some scientific thing or some political thing or something like that, why can't I hear about Krishna Katha, Bhagavad Gita, or Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Katha? So, to sacrifice the tendency of sense gratificatory hearing and using the time to hear about Krishna, that is sacrifice. So, at every moment, I must evaluate myself whether my activity is yajna or whether my activity is kama. We don't have prema. Prema is the highest, stage. We are now yajna. We are sacrificing. For a person who is in prema, giving up sense gratification is not a sacrifice. Sacrifice means, you know, you're taking some trouble for some higher gain. That is a sacrifice. Or you're sacrificing your, you know, tendency to talk nonsense, and you're chanting Hare Krishna. Okay, let me chant Hare Krishna. But my mind is pulling me towards talking some rubbish or doing some rubbish. But I'm controlling. No, no, no. I must do it for Krishna. I must chant Hare Krishna. So that is a sacrifice where I feel the urge, but I'm sacrificing that. But for a pure devotee, he doesn't need to sacrifice his tendency of sense gratification. He has no interest. You know, sacrifice is only when it appears very attractive, but with my intelligence, I say no. Let me do this for Krishna. Let me advance in spiritual life instead of going to um, some tourist location or something like that. I am okay. Might as well go to the temple and do some service. I'll give an example. I think I gave this example before. So, in when I was a student, towards the end of my college studies, I was actually staying in the temple ashram, and I was going to college. And there was this term break after my semester. There's a holidays about 1.5 month holidays. So I wanted to go to India to meet my family and stay with them and like spend some time with them. But Sundagopal Prabhu, our temple president, he said, no, no, no. Why you have to go? You rather stay here and do service and learn how to become a devotee. Because yes, you are staying in temple, but you are going to college every day, so you are not really experiencing the full-time life of a devotee. So why not you actually stay in the temple and experience the full-time life of a devotee? Because you have to become a devotee. What are you going to do going back home and do what there? You're not strong enough to preach to them or something. You know, you they will preach to you. They may even convince you of going the other way. So you're not ready, and might as well make some good use of this time. So it was a big thing for me to say at that time, okay, that's a sacrifice. I'm sacrificing, my pleasure or my so-called happiness or perceived happiness in my perspective for Krishna. Okay, let me stay here and not go to. So I'm sacrificing my pleasure of being with my family to um, serve Krishna. Now I'm not interested. If you ask me to go back to family or spend some 1.5 months with them, what am I going to do there? Even if Prabhu asked me to go and stay there, I wouldn't be interested. So that's, and if somebody says that I'm sacrificing my, um, um, you know, like instead of staying with the family, I'm sacrificing that and some serving the temple. For him, it may sound like a lot of sacrifice, but for a person who has achieved some taste, rasavarjam rasopyasa param drishtva nivartate. When he has a higher taste, giving up a lower taste because he already has a higher taste, giving up a lower taste is not considered a sacrifice. You see that? But when I feel it as a pain to give up that thing, but I nevertheless still push through and okay, I understand that that's where my mind is going, but I know that that is also wrong to have so much attachment. So okay, let me, serve Krishna because this is right. See? And much of the time we need some pushing from the devotees, like I, like I did. If Sundagopal Prabhu did not strongly tell me that why should I go and I should stay, I should not go. So he gave me an order: you're not going. So that actually helped me. That actually helped me because if he said, no, what, I suggest you not go. It's up to you. But this is what I tell you. That if it would be a waste of time, maybe um, I think you should think of maybe doing some service. If that's how Prabhu put it, and I would say, okay, Prabhu, okay, next time I'll do that. This time I already committed to them. I already told them that I'm coming. So I will go now. And the next time I will tell them. This time I go, I will tell them. Next time I won't. So that would have happened. But Prabhu gave me an ultimatum. Not ultimatum. I mean, he gave me an order. You're not going. And then of course he reasoned out. First he said you're not going, and then he said, what are you going to do there? What is going to be the end result of all the thing? Might as well you learn something here. You stay here, no, you're not going. So that actually helped me. That may be painful in the beginning to take orders like that.